So you guys know the Salvation Army, right? It's a great organization. It's a Christian organization that's structured with military hierarchy, right, in that manner, that feeds and clothes the homeless. Love them. And sadly, now apparently the tentacles of wokery have infected them too, because apparently Jesus was like a social justice warrior or something, which is totally not true and unbiblical. Christian Watson is with Colorist United and host of Pensive Politics on YouTube. He joins me now to discuss. Christian, welcome. Good to see you. And what is your take on all of this? I know that you've discussed this, and it makes me sad. I love the Salvation Army, huge supporter of them. When we lived in my hometown of St. Louis, and I homeschooled my kids, we actually used the Salvation Army's building. They were so generous. We did all kinds of stuff with them. We would help them with their projects that they were doing and their outreach, and they let us use their gymnasium for our gym classes and some of their classrooms for science and the labs and that. And they do such good work, and it's sad to see that now this institutionalized Marxist bigotry is now even infecting them. Talk to us about it.
So my grandma, she used to work with the Salvation Army, and I still have members who work with the Salvation Army, members of my family rather, who do so. And so when I saw this happening, I thought two things. Number one, surely the people in the Salvation Army were not acquiescing to this. And from the work I've done with Colorist United, we've seen a lot of members actually not acquiesce to this, which is why we have the petition on our website to fight this. But then I also thought this must definitely be coming from the upper echelons of the leadership. And turns out it is. The International Social Justice Commission, which is the part of the Salvation Army, which is creating all of these curriculum, this woke curriculum, is a very small part of the organization that many people haven't even heard of, including many of its own members. So this is a sort of top-down attempt to impose a foreign ideology, an anti-biblical ideology, an anti-enlightenment ideology, and an anti-intellectual ideology onto the members of an organization which is inherently apolitical, and that should worry us all, Dana.
So Christian, you've discussed and you've talked about earlier how this organization and Salvation Army being a Christian organization and being united around Christian principles, it's a little odd to see an organization then begin to push an ideology that tells everyone that they have to center around ethnicity as opposed to being considered a child of the kingdom first. And they do try to make it sound biblical. Talk to us about this. And how are they trying to present this as a biblical principle, this CRT curriculum?
Right. So the idea is that you're supposed to be in the world, but not of the world. But being in the world, a part of that is being a part of God's mission. That's a part of spreading his love. And they view social justice as a representative of his love. But ultimately, it's not. It's not for a very particular reason. When you look at the biblical story of the Samaritan woman, the woman at the well, when Christ went to her and said, "Hey, can I have some water?" And she said, "Nope." And she did so because he was a Jew. He said, "Well, you know what? I have access to water that will make sure that you never thirst for the rest of your days." And that affirmation, which was a sentence that transcended race, transcended national geography, transcended every single temporal ideology, and went straight to the core of God's eternal heart, that single sentence not only caused her to convert and not see Christ as a Jew anymore, it also caused several of her other friends in the city to convert and not see that anymore either. So God actually helps us transcend race if you believe in Christian theology. But what the Salvation Army's leadership is doing, they're trying to integrate us into race and bind us to race. And that obviously is not what Christ would have wanted if he was still walking around on this earth today.
Yes, well, in one day, Christian, I have to ask you, how do you think that this is going to impact their outreach, the Salvation Army's outreach, and all the amazing stuff that they do for the communities in which they have presence?
Well, Dana, I tell you, a lot of people, when I tell them about this, who are Salvationists, had no idea what was going on. People at the upper echelon, like captains and officers, they might. Yeah, but a lot of other folks have no idea this is going on. And so I think when more folks realize it's going on, we've seen when more folks realize it's going on, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting money to this. And I do think that it's going to have an adverse impact. But over at Colorist United, our goal is not to destroy the Salvation Army. We like their work. Our goal is to make sure that they are able to do their work with its intended purpose, not with an external foreign woke agenda on the horizon.
There you go. Well, I appreciate your words on this and your attention on this as well. We'd love to talk with you again. Christian Watson, thanks so much.